Hola Samuel,
Hola Giovanni, ¿cómo está?
¿y usted? ¿Qué tal todo?
Bien, bien, pues está oscuro por ahí todavía, por lo visto,
Sí, un poco.
allá en Yukon. Hi JP. Hi JP,
Hi, Samuel.
good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you as well.
Hola María, ahí veo que te conectaste.
Hola
Hello.
Samuel.
We're gonna
no
wait
me
maybe
veo.
1 more minute for more people to connect. I have this same meeting 1 hour ago at 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna repeat it again for you guys. So let's wait maybe 1 more minute to see how many people join. Hi Rupita, I see that you are connected as well.
Hello. Hello, Samuel. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, and hi Linnea.
Hi.
Hello Mariam.
Hello Samuel.
Hola.
Hola Alan.
Hola, Samuel.
Hello.
Hola, Nea.
Mira.
Oh. Oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna wait maybe 1 more minute to see how many people more connect. Just so you know, I'm repeating this session. This already has been done at 8 a.m. in the morning. Many people connected at 8. So we're just doing it again for you guys. Maybe it helps you. We'll see if this is good for you because it's 1 hour more. If you were sleeping, maybe it's good to have 1 more hour of sleeping. Otherwise, we'll see. But let's wait 1 more minute and we can start. Okay, so it's 9:01. Good to see you guys. I don't know if you have used this before or not. If anyone hasn't used it, this could be a good session just to start to play a little bit with Zoom. You will use this with other teachers as well. This is, I think today we're starting officially classes back again. However, we may see that if this schedule or maybe even the format is not working, this could be changed in the next weeks, but so far, let's try and see how we can make the best of it. So what I have planned today for Global Politics is just to, first of all, make a short introduction, maybe check in with each of you. You can say hi, and maybe I would like to hear how are you doing, where are you at, in which country, or if you're in a host family and some of you are still at the college. I know Mariam is still nearby us. And also what time is it right now where you are, so I can record the timings here. I know some of you already fill in the Google Forms, but I want just to see at this moment what time is it where you are. And then the next part of the session will be to share with you how the classes are going to be in the next weeks until we finish the term. We don't really have too many weeks ahead of us. I'm thinking about 5 extra classes. But yeah, we will talk about that. And sorry. And we will talk about some tasks that I'm also some assignments that we will have one today. So you can work on that and then answer questions. And that will be our session today. It shouldn't take more than half an hour unless we want to keep it going more, but I think it will be short and sweet, okay? So, oh, here's Josipa. So we can go, I'm gonna give maybe I see you here in the screen. Giovanni, if you want to just start saying, how are you doing? Where are you at? And what time is it right now? Anything that you would like to share with us, just remember to unmute when you are talking and then mute so we don't have the noise in the Zoom session. Thank you.
Hi, I'm pretty good. I'm in the Yukon right now, in Whitehorse. My time is the same time as Victoria, so here's 9 9:01, I think, 9:02. And yeah, I'm having fun. It's kind of cold, but it's beautiful.
Okay. You are with Zach, I understand, isn't it? Or nearby in a host family?
No, yeah, I'm with Zach, and yeah, I'm living with Zach right now.
Okay, good. Thank you, Giovanni. I see JP next. Hi, JP. How are you? You have to unmute. Just don't forget to unmute, JP.
Yeah,
Okay,
hello,
there
can you
go.
hear me now? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, okay. I'm in the Yukon, and I'm staying with Jamie, and it's 9 a.m. as well. Yeah.
Good. Mariam, I see you next.
I'm still
Just
in the school.
we didn't hear you. If you can share with you, how are you doing and what are your plans in the next couple of days, if you already have some plans, or yeah, anything that you would like to add, just to understand what where are you going to be at in the next days, thinking about connecting.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still in the school and I'm working with Julia on finding a host family, probably in Victoria as well. So.
Okay. Thank you. Alan?
Yeah, I'm in Colombia, in Turbaco. I mean, staying for the moment in a room of the hotel and spending my quarantine over there. It's pretty warm and fresh here. It's good that I have some open space now that we are in quarantine. And my time right now is 11:05, something like that. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, good to see you again, Alan. And I see Rupita next. Hi, Rupita.
Hello, Samuel. I'm doing well. I'm also not at home. I'm in my dad's office being quarantined, so I will be here for 1 more week, and then I'll go back. But the time zone's gonna remain the same. That's one thing. And I just my charger tore for laptop, so now I can't access any like documents or like Microsoft Teams or whatever. So I can only zoom in with you guys using my phone, but except that it's going well.
Okay, now I understand then you are connected using your phone. That's what you're using? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, and do you expect to have access to your computer soon or not until you end your quarantine?
I expect to get a charger soon because that's what went wrong, but I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'll try my best to use a different laptop or something if I get it within a few days. It's not gonna be a whole week. I'm gonna figure something out within a few days.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you. Josipa, I see you next. Hello, Josipa.
Hi. I'm home in Bosnia. It's around 5 p.m. here now. I'm not at my home. I'm in another house in quarantine for 6 more days, and then I'm free. So yeah, nothing.
Okay, and I understand you have then access to internet and your computer is working fine. Okay.
Yes,
good.
Everything's working fine.
Okay, good. And Linnea, I see you next. Hi, Linnea.
Hi, I'm home in North Vancouver, and it's the same time as the college, it's 9 a.m. And I also have computer problems. I'm using an iPad, so I should be able to do everything from this class.
Okay. Okay, good, Linnea. Thank you. And Maria, we don't see you, but we know you are connected. So if you listen to us, if you can just tell us how are you doing and where are you and what time is it where you are?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So right now I'm in college, and I'm gonna go to a host family probably tomorrow to spend kind of 1 week or 2 weeks. Is like right now I cannot go back home because they are quarantining the whole country. So like probably if they extend the quarantine, I will be able to go home like in 2 weeks or so, and the time difference will be 2 hours more than the time here. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, you're still around here. The college is so tricky because the college is so quiet, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then we don't see each other because people are stranded in the rooms or their houses. And I didn't even know that you were still here, Maria. I have seen Marianne walking around to the CAF, but not you. But yeah, I hope that you guys get really soon some safe place. And I know it's difficult to be away from the family, but yeah, let's hope for the best that is coming soon. But anyways, in the meanwhile, we need to take care of ourselves and try to keep it safe and save our families. Okay, so I think that's all of us right now. That's how many people I see now. I want to share with you. I'm gonna try to share here in the screen a link that I already sent you via email, which is a web page that I made just for the purpose of the remaining weeks. So let me just see if I can share it. Good. So if you can see the page there on your screen. So I just created these for our classes. Actually, there's a picture we took in one of the classes if you may be there. So if we can go to that page, you will go to the global politics link. And this is where I have just the resources that we are going to be using in the remaining weeks. So maybe I just want to clarify a couple of things that you may have in mind. And if you have more questions, there will be a chance to ask. The first thing is that we are not so far deciding how are you going to be graded for this first year, because we don't really know if you are going to be having a chance to make final examinations as we usually do when you are here physically. So I wouldn't worry a lot if I'm a first year of not having an achieved grade, because the achieved grades are not really for the IB, but are more for you to know which level are you if you were having an IB grade so far. Your predicted grades are based sometimes on the achieved grades, but this year is a very unique year. So we are not sure if this year we will assess you on your first year. And when you come back in September, hopefully by September, things will be cleared. And then once you are back in the college, we may have a chance to make some assessments, so to start building your predicted grades. Universities are aware of this. So the IB also is aware of how tricky this year is in terms of having a predicted grade so far. So I wouldn't worry a lot. Second years are more the problem of how are they getting their diploma. So first years, I wouldn't be really worried because we still have another next year, and we have some months once you come back to build a predicted grade for you. That's the first thing I want to say. Then the second thing is about what to expect from global politics in the remaining weeks. So if we go to the webpage, I'm putting here a task, which is the country assignment essay. I'm calling it an essay because originally the idea was to work in groups. Remember, we were making groups of 4. We were having a country that we were adopting. And then on each group, you were going to be making a presentation about how that country should achieve better standards of living, or how that country will achieve development. That will be the main goal of our final task. So because it's tricky to have group presentations, I'm making it individual. So if we click here on the country assignment, then it has all the prompts of how to work on an individual essay. So I'm just gonna go down here because what is expected from you to work is an essay, a written essay of maximum 4 pages of text. You may add some graphs or tables if you want, but not more than 4 pages of text. PDF, I will actually create a link so you can send it via Turnitin. If you haven't used it, Turnitin, I will send you the instructions anyways, but that we will still have time for that during the week. This is how the paper should look like. There should be an introduction, diagnosis of the country that you have adopted. Let's say if the country was Bangladesh, for example, then you make a small diagnosis of what do you think are some of the challenges that Bangladesh should overcome to achieve development. Then the challenges identified should be related with what is being written here. So we have different areas. So for example, economic factors or political factors or environmental factors, institutional factors or social and cultural factors. So what you have to do is to identify two of these factors, and there are sub-factors here that you can actually elaborate more. So for example, if I say, well, Bangladesh is facing some political challenges to achieve development, and one of the challenges is corruption. Then based on the data that you have already identified of that country, maybe the level of corruption or the corruption index is high. Maybe you want to explain why there's a high corruption level there, and that's part of your diagnosis. Maybe there are some conflicts taking place inside the country, and then that's part of your diagnosis. So you're using a political factor as one of the factors. And then let's say the other factor will be, maybe there's a cultural factor. Let's say, maybe some of you may say, well, some parts of the culture are not allowing women to have or to achieve certain political power, for example. So based on a cultural approach, this could be hindering women's rights. But on the other hand, you may see that maybe culturally speaking, people accept that because it's part of their culture. And so then you can have a conversation about well-being, not necessarily as a particular way of looking at, but maybe culturally speaking is more important for that community or that region or that country to keep their cultural practices than, for example, human rights. And that's valid discussion to have, for example. So you are going to be identifying two of these factors. You will diagnose the problem, and then you will propose something that the country could do based on the readings that are there. There are some readings here that you may use, and based on your knowledge and based on what we have learned in class. So here are some of the questions that you can address. Not all of them, but I'm just giving some guiding questions, and that will help you to work on your essay. So the idea would be to upload that essay next week. So the deadline is next Thursday, April 2nd. I will send you the link of Turnitin so you can upload it there. And that will be our first task to work in global politics. And then what we will do is that we will meet again next week, and I will just tell you about the IB questions that I'm gonna be posting here. So the idea would be to have an IB question each week. So the next week you will have an IB question here that you can work. This is not for grading, but for you to practice IB questions related with global politics. So I will upload it. We will talk about that in the next session. And then you work on that during the week. And then the next week we'll do the same. And then we will connect in the remaining 2 weeks that we have remaining just to talk about current events. So we will just take the advantage of this space to get together and then just discuss what's going on in your countries. Maybe you want to talk about the recession that is coming. Maybe you want to talk how the country is dealing with the virus. All of that could be an open discussion that we can have. But I just want to make clear that that will be voluntary. You don't have to connect to these sessions because we are done with the delivery of contents. We're just going to be working on written assignments that will be posted in this webpage. So that being said, I just want to ask if you have questions related with this, and we can clarify them.
Yeah, Samuel, when you said that we're gonna choose 2 factors, like you mean like two factors, and for each factor we choose just one problem and one question, or
yeah.
how is it?
That's correct, because let's say, because we classify 5 different challenges to achieve development. So the factors are economic, social, environmental, etc. So you will choose, let's say, I'm going to choose the environmental factors and the political factors in this country. And then you can elaborate which environmental factors do you think are the ones that are affecting development on that country. Remember, we were defining development as a very broad concept, and some of you may say, well, development is not being achieved in this country because people are having polluted water, for example, or they are not having access to safe water. And that could be related with the environmental factor that you want to address. But also
so
maybe
I can focus in a particular problem, like in a particular thing in the factor, because there are, of course, many things.
That's correct. You don't want to do very, very broad. You want to focus on a particular thing of that factor, and that you're using 2 of these factors. That's correct.
Samuel?
Which country?
Let's go first with Giovanni and then with Rupita.
Yeah.
Which countries are we gonna do again? And the second question is, you said April 2nd, but in the document said is April 4th. So which one is it?
Oh, okay. Next week is April 4th.
Yeah.
So it will be next week. It's next April 4th. Then I'm wrong with the dates. So April 4th is next Thursday. That's for next Thursday will be it. And your first question was?
Which countries do we want to like?
Yeah, because we were working on groups. Remember, I hope you still remember which one was your group. If you don't remember your group, then you can pick any country in the world that can be considered a less developed country, but then you have to find all the data that we were working on the class. Remember, we were having certain data that you needed to match, for example, the numbers of airports and a number of HDI level, etc., poverty level, all of those variables, you were working on those. If you lost that paper, because maybe you have lost it, I'm gonna upload the paper on the webpage because I didn't do that, but then you need to find the data related with that in order to elaborate your arguments of why do you consider those part of the problem and how to overcome that problem. So which country? It could be the one that you define in your group, or at this point, you can do it individually and just start again with a country that you decide that you want to work. Could be your country, actually. Rupita.
No, I think Giovanni made a mistake. Next April the 4th is Saturday.
Okay, yeah. So we'll be for next Thursday. Just so we are clear, regardless the date is 1 week from today. Okay, so for next Thursday. Thank you, JP. Rupita.
Yeah, Samuel, may I suggest one more thing? There's an option we can raise our hands. So if that can be considered, if we just go to participants, each and every one of us can raise our hands and you can see it. We were doing that with Emily too, and that prevents a lot of like mix-up. Like I was raising my hand.
Excellent. So I see that hand raised here. No, I didn't know because I'm learning with this platform as well, but totally great. And I really appreciate this. Is going to be very helpful for other classes.
Yeah. And my question was, as you mentioned, the development itself is very diverse by how you actually define it. So do you mean economic development or development in regards to like social or gender equality? What,
sure.
In what regards?
Sure, because we have been talking about how development is a very broad concept. We don't want just to talk about economic growth or how the country is growing as an analogy of development. We need to look at different ways of looking at better standards of living. And different ways could be, remember the happiness index and remember the HDI. So you want to look at a country that you will decide that that country is not achieving development because it has these and these and these levels of certain variables that you consider important for this country to be achieved. So development is a broad concept, and that's part of what we want you to write in your essay. How are you defining development, and why do you consider that this country hasn't achieved development? And this could be different from your perspective than from Alan's, for example. And that's fine, because that's the conversation that we want to go, because development is not a fixed concept, but we want to argue or provide some arguments why we consider this not to be achieving better standards of living of that particular population. Does that answer your
So
question?
the essay has to be about why it is not achieving development. So if in one index, for example, happiness, it does achieve development, but for GPI, it doesn't. So I'll focus on GPI, for which
That's
it
correct.
doesn't.
That's correct, because then
Okay.
you are saying because of this and this is my diagnosis of the country, because happiness is not reflecting maybe people
Yeah.
dying early, for example, compared to
Yeah.
other countries.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Can you use your own country? Is that fine?
That is correct, as long as that country, as you are identifying some challenges. And again, sometimes we may even see and say that what we consider developed countries, let's say Canada, it has also some challenges to be overcome. Now we see all the challenges related with health services. Right now we are facing some problems here, but also the problem of discrimination of some population in terms of the indigenous populations. So we can even talk about a country that can be considered developed in certain ways, by diagnosing it as not developed in other ways, and those challenges could be overcome if Canada makes this, this, and that. But that's, again, the thinking is what we want to trigger in your head about addressing challenges that are not still yet allowing people to be achieving better standards of living, assuming that we're defining standards of living in this and this and this way. Does that make sense? Okay. If there are no more questions, then I just want to summarize the expectations. So for next Thursday, we would like to upload our essay. The instructions are there on the webpage. Secondly, you don't have to connect next week. It's not compulsory for this class. Maybe other subjects, they will ask you to connect, but that's up to the teacher. In this one, you are not, you don't need to connect. Okay, so don't worry if you cannot connect next week. But what I need is to have the task to be done. So it's more an online learning thing. I will send you anyways the task to work for next week. Let's say the IB question, I will just send you an email telling you, well, now I have uploaded the IB question. It's expected to be uploaded for the next week. So again, if you cannot connect or you don't want to connect, that's fine. The connection will be just to check in how are we doing and if there are questions related with the assignment. Okay, so we don't have an online class for global politics from now on, but just the tasks that I'm talking about. In economics will be different for those who are taking economics, but this is for global politics. What is expected. Anything else or any other question or clarification that you need?
The IB question is also for next Thursday?
No.
Or next Thursday?
So
two
we're
weeks
gonna do
from
it
now.
once, one
Okay.
at a time. Okay, so for next week will be the next one and the next one. Maria.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a couple of questions. I don't know if that's correct. The first one, so we will have like kind of with regularly some IB questions that we will have to answer or something like that?
Yeah, I will give you two IB questions that are going to be posted. One is going to be for, not for next week, but the next week, the upcoming week. And the other one will be for the next week. Okay, so you will have 1 week to work on the question, to elaborate it, and then to upload it, because then I can give you some feedback about how to answer. I will actually mark the question for you. But again, these marks are not really important because I'm not taking these marks for the IB. This is just for you to have some feedback about how to approach to IB questions, okay?
And regarding the classes, from now on, it will not be necessary to connect to the only classes, but like, you are gonna actually like do the classes, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna connect because for some people it's easier maybe to connect, and maybe you want to keep connected with the rest of your peers, but we will not have any content. What I will do is just to have a space for us to share maybe current events, because it could be interesting for you to talk about global politics or what is going right now in the world, but it's not really a content class, but just we have the space to be connected, okay? And maybe you have some questions about the syllabus or about the task that was done. That's also
I cannot hear you.
just going to be.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's why I'm going to be connected just every Thursday, just to be here available. And then whoever wants to join, joins. We will just discuss a topic, but that will be it. You don't have to do it, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So unless there's nothing else, otherwise you can send me an email, please. Don't hesitate to keep on communicating online. I hope that you keep yourself safe and well. Take a walk sometimes. Don't spend all your time in front of the screen. And yeah, I hope to see you soon in September. But otherwise, in the meanwhile, we'll keep every Thursday. I'm just going to be here available for you guys.
Okay, thank you so much,
Okay,
Samuel.
thank you very much. So
Thank you.
take care and be ready for the next
Thank
meeting,
you.
for the next class. Bye.
Okay.
Bye,
Gracias,
Sam.
chao.
Bye. Ciao.